And we are live. I am your host, Preston Bailey of Smash Mouth Sports. With me, I guess, is my co-host, Cam Vieira, for the minute. I don't know, with his love affair with Baker Mayfield. We almost had a brawl, pandemorium,
last
night, today. You've got this Baker Mayfield. We're going to get into NFL free agency, so we appreciate you clicking on the video. Like and subscribe. We got a couple more subscribers today, so we appreciate that. You need to get that out of the way. Do we need to restart this video? Well, I'm not restarting it. So, do you need a sip of water? Here, I'm taking a sip of water. Do you have water? Get a sip of water before we get into it. Just don't start squirting water bottles over yourself when you start talking about Baker. So, you keep telling me every time we get into football free agency, this team and that team. A couple weeks ago, James Stewart's like, "Oh, I think Baker Mayfield's top 10." And Cam just was in love with that because they just want to pop champagne bottles and party with Baker Mayfield. Look, I don't hate Baker Mayfield.
Yes, you
don't hate him. No, I don't. I hate inaccurate people and portrayal like you that keep telling me he's top 10. That's not hate. That's called facts. It's like your guy. It's like saying the Celtics have a top 5 front line or a front court. No, they don't. You have to live in reality. They don't even have a top 10. Okay, so now we're back to NFL. Baker Mayfield. I'm not going to go through all the quarterbacks. Pro Football Focus has him ranked 15. Do we agree?
Yeah, that's perfectly fair.
That is the definition of the middle of the road.
That is average.
Now, that's average. Now, that is 15 with the number 1 offensive line, with the number 1 running back duo.
I see.
With great receiver tight ends. How well would your Baker Mayfield be in Jacksonville, in Detroit, in Cincinnati? Name another, with the Jets.
Correct. No, that's fair. That's 100% fair.
He would have the same level of production as Sam Darnold. Let's trade places. They were both drafted 1 and 3. If Baker would have ended up with the Jets, he would have a worse production than Sam Darnold would. He would be worse.
I agree.
Because Sam Darnold, to give Sam Darnold credit, he has at least proven that he can at least take a beating.
Yes, he can. You're right.
He's had a good attitude. He's had no TMZ. He's had no Denny's. He's had no Waffle House meetings at 3 a.m. while he should be happily married and all the other you're getting this weird look on your face. Anytime.
I'm just laughing.
Well, you can't talk about Baker Mayfield without talking about Denny's or 3 a.m. or
Why
Waffle
bring
House.
Up stuff he did 4 years ago? Like
we're talking about 2 seasons ago with the Waffle House girls.
But you're talking about you're talking about the arrest is what I know when you said.
No, it's the arrest with TMC, but it's all and you know what else it is? It's Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel. I can't help but overlook those two. Baker and Johnny Manziel are the
Cleveland connection.
The Cleveland connection, the short, dumpy, white quarterback connection, the overrated connection, the TMZ How many connections do we need? First round pick by Cleveland, overrated by Cleveland.
Heisman winner.
Heisman, all of the boxes. Yeah.
No, it's fair.
You're damn right it's fair. It's more than fair.
I know. I mean, you seem to think that I am like in love with Baker Mayfield. I'm not. I'm just fair.
You keep top 10 is fair?
I think, okay, the 15th is – was that just off of last season or is that going into this season?
That's off last season.
Okay, that's fair. I had him a couple spots
higher.
That
was his best season.
He's a game manager. Yes. You make him out to be a complete bum.
I make him out to what he is, a drunken frat boy. That's what he is.
And you don't want a drunken frat boy as quarterback.
Would Baker Mayfield be fun to go to Las Vegas with? Sure. Let's cheers it up, Baker. Let's go fill Hangover 4 and go down all Strip Club Row and get liquored up and have Jack Daniels and have all your buddies. Bradley Cooper, Zach, and the whole group. Okay?
Correct. Ed Helms, all of them.
I'm sure Baker is a great friend Good, fun guy. Good to hang out with. You'd probably be your best friend if he was in town. Don't even dispute that. Tom Brady would never be your best friend. Tom Brady would say,
too focused on football.
You'd say to Tom Brady, Tom, let's go to Shula Steakhouse. Let's go here. Let's go to Ocean Prime. Let's go to Burns Steak. Guys, it's 8:30. I've got to be in bed in 30 minutes. Tom Brady would say, guys, it's 8:30. We can't leave now. We have to go to bed within an hour. We've got to be in bed by 9:30. That's what Tom Brady would say. And that's what I want from my quarterback.
Yes.
I want a buttoned-up, boring guy that eats avocado toast. And the one time after 7 Super Bowls, he has too many tequilas and has too many Bud Lights that he goes off of his rocker, people lose their mind. That's what I want.
No, it's true. And if you say to Tom Brady, okay, then it means dinner at 5.
I want avocado shots. I want avocado tequila after your 7th Super Bowl. That's when you can get drunk and do TMZ. Not before.
And when you
not
say
in
to
the preseason.
And if you see to Tom Brady, okay, meet us at 5 o'clock for dinner, then he's like, no, I've got film to watch for 3 hours.
Right? Even if you say, okay, Tom, hey, Tom, we haven't been to dinner all year long. Let's meet at dinner at 5. He's like, no. He's like, you guys can come over my house from 5:30 to 5:34, and then you got to leave. You got 34 minutes to eat dinner, and then you got to go.
We can have some water and some tuna. Yeah,
because I got to bang out a 30-minute massage. I got to do the, I got to.
And then I got film to watch.
All the rituals that he does, which is great. So let's get into it. You ready?
Let's do it.
NFL free agency. We kind of started off with Baker, and we kind of started off with Sam Darnold. Let's also start, by the way, I copied this today from my TV for those that can see. That's hard to see there. That's Colin Cowherd. Why Baker Mayfield may have hit his ceiling last season. Cam, what are your thoughts on that while I'm bringing up the rankings?
I don't dispute that. It would not surprise me if Baker Mayfield never makes a conference championship game.
Okay. I agree with that. All right, here we go. Now, we're going to get into the quarterbacks because that's the sexy guys. That's what everybody wants to talk about.
Of course.
But what I want to talk about right now, this was trending today on Twitter, largest running backs on a new team since 2016. So what that means is in the last 5 years, since 2016, these are the highest contracts for new running backs. So, of course, Zeke Elliott is not on this list, 5 years, $90 million.
So running backs that have changed teams.
Also, Christian McCaffrey is not on this list, $16 million a year. These are guys that have changed teams. So what that means in English is these are guys that are 25, 26, 27, or older. They had their first contract. Now they're with the second contract.
I know what you're getting at.
And, well, I know you know where I'm getting at, but let's play it out and let's see what happens. And they're not in any specific order. Actually, these are in order. Le'Veon Bell, 4 years, $52.5 million. You feel confident with that?
No, that was probably one of the worst trading signings in football history.
Chris Ivory, do we still remember him?
I remember him.
Okay. 5 years, $32 million with Jacksonville.
Also, wow.
I didn't realize he signed for. That's a lot of money for. I did not. I liked Chris. I wasn't a lower Chris Ivory. I liked him as a solid running back. He played for the Jets for a number of years. I was surprised for that. Okay, Jerick McKinnon, another guy that's been injured every year. 4 years, $30 million.
Ugh.
Exactly. I could not think of a better word than. Lamar Miller, 4 years, $26 million.
Oh.
Here's your boy. Dion Lewis, 4 years, a shade under $20 million, $19.8 million.
That was with Tennessee, right?
That was with Tennessee. For a third down back.
Ugh. Oh.
Melvin Gordon, 2 years, $16 million. So that's $8 million a year.
I mean, he's a good player, but not good.
A couple guys left. Carlos Hyde, 3 years, $15.25 million.
What in the – go on.
With Cleveland. No, go ahead. Go ahead and say it. Say what you got to say. Let's get to the last guy.
This is horrible.
Thank you. Last two guys, Latavius Murray with Minnesota and Mark Ingram, both 3 years, $15 million total.
Actually, those are pretty decent.
Those are decent. And by the way, Mark Ingram's a friend of the program, so we're happy to.
Yes, Mark.
We're happy for that contract.
We're happy for that.
Mark Ingram might be coming on in a couple weeks, so nothing but positive things for Mark Ingram.
Nothing but positive things for the Minnesota Vikings. They seem to be the most open.
Right in Minnesota, Minnesota Vikings are friends of the programs as well, so we want to have Latavius Murray on there as well. So we saved that from you burning all of our bridges here that we have. But the point is, Cam. The point is, and look. This ties back to what we had a big argument with a week ago.
Leonard Fournette.
When you're telling me he's going to get $8 or $9 million, Melvin Gordon held out and got $8 million, but only for 2 years.
He lost money.
He lost money, right? Because he was actually offered more than that
by the Chargers. Yeah, and it turned out to work out well for them because they had Eckler.
So, in addition to all those factors, in addition to coming up on a pandemic, in addition
to how many teams are over the cap,
in addition to the salary cap being lowered from $200 million to $180 million, being lowered $20 million. This could be, and the fact that
the other to be a free agent.
All these guys we've named, plus Zeke has underperformed, plus McCaffrey got injured and is also underperformed.
These massive running back contracts, I think there's enough evidence now, are awful. And
they are awful.
I'll say what I said again last week. The classic saying, course, is age like fine wine. Running backs age like milk.
Oh, that is a visual for days. That's a horrible visual, but yeah. Keep going.
No, it's just, and with Leonard Fournette, we made a bet that when I'm down there, by the way, we're going to be doing a live show night of the draft. First round is going to be great. I'm going to be down the studio with Preston. So we made a bet that if Leonard Fournette signs for more of I believe the Mendoza line was.
Now, here is a free agent. Let's see if we can get this on camera here. Here's a free agent that's trending.
What? Okay.
I can't show. I'm not allowed to show this. I'm not allowed to show this on air.
What are you getting at?
That's Jimmy G and his girlfriend.
I know.
What are you
talking? I don't think that's his girlfriend. I think it's a girl he took on a date when he signed his big contract.
That was Jimmy G's girlfriend at the time, and for all reports, now you follow him and stalk him more than I do, so I'll lean on you for this advice. That was his girlfriend, and that has been his girlfriend.
Yes.
Are you shaming her for being an adult entertainer?
No. Make money however you want, especially in this economy. Make money by any means necessary.
Joe Biden economy.
This Joe Biden economy, correct. Stimulus checks are taking a while. No.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that stimulus. I'm waiting. I keep waiting. When were we promised the stimulus? We promised it October, November, December. We were blaming Donald Trump. Where's my stimulus?
Come on,
I want to be stimulated.
Yes. Let's set the politics to the side. Jimmy G, look, I have a hard time believing Jimmy Garoppolo does not live under a rock. So he's heard for these last couple off seasons about how much the Niners want an upgrade. The coach doesn't really believe in him. If you're Jimmy Garoppolo right now, how do you feel if you're still on this Niners team when training camp starts in August? How do you feel walking into a locker room where the coach really doesn't believe in you? And that's going to be kind of hard for him to get past that, isn't it?
The hardest part is not walking into the locker room. The hardest part is walking into the coach's office and during film sessions. Because you walk in the locker room, you embrace your guys, Kittle, you embrace all your guys. Hey, man, what's going on? And then your George Kittle.
And then when you get to Kyle Shanahan.
George Kittle says, hey, man, don't worry about the noise. We're a team. We're locked in. We're healthy, blah, blah, blah. We're going to win 10, 11. We're going to be focused. That's what the players are saying. You go in the coach's office, and Kyle says to you, okay, I almost called him Tom. Okay, Jimmy, we're going to run 35 times for 175 yards this game. We're going to call 35 runs and 20 pass plays. Jimmy's going to be like, why are we only calling 20 pass plays? Are we only calling 20 pass plays? Because you don't want me here.
Correct.
That's what's going to happen.
So I have a hard time believing that dynamic's going to work because everyone under the sun in the NFL has made it clear that Kyle Shanahan does not believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know why.
The media has said that. You've never heard Shanahan. If Shanahan gets handed the microphone, if Shanahan says, I don't believe in Jimmy G. Okay, don't listen to Cowherd. I don't believe in Jimmy G. I wanted Kirk Cousins. I want Matt Ryan. Whoever the guy, Kyler Murray, whatever guy's name you want.
Well, you know who he wanted last offseason.
I know, Tom Brady, my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm glad he did not go there because Tom Brady would have been beat to hell in San Fran.
No, I really wish we had put this on audio when we did our old audio podcast. You and I were talking about Brady to Tampa months before it happened. We're like, it makes all the sense in the world. He's got great weapons. He's in a warm climate, so his wife is happy and he's happy. He gets to raise his kids in a nice part of the country, and he gets a chance to win. It made all the sense in the world. Just no one connected those dots. But we did.
We did. I mean, look, it's hard. It's hard when you win 6 Super Bowls.
Right. You had a hard time believing Brady was going to start over at age 43.
When you're 43, to start over with the success that he had, the risk that Brady took was immense. The risk he took was unbelievable.
This past Super Bowl, I said it, he drove a stake through the heart of his haters.
You know what it would be like? It would almost be like the equivalent of Jerry Jones owning Dallas for 40 years, selling them, and then buying the Houston Texans.
Correct.
Like that's how crazy it would be.
Correct. No, it was. And so, Brady is just, I mean, we said our piece. He's just the greatest. There's no other way
He's the greatest. We've said our piece. But, it's much like J.J. Watt going to Arizona. Nobody predicted that. But again, everyone's like, oh, he's going to go to Cleveland. I'm like, nah, he's not going to Cleveland. He's not going to Green Bay. He could care less about playing. He's not 12. He's not 12.
He's not worried about
playing with his brother.
Pittsburgh. Right.
Look, I've played sports with my brother, and it's fun and it's exciting. But at the end of the day, after your first game or two, the novelty wears off.
Right.
What was that?
I'm like, what do you do? What you do?
Okay. Let's stop it. Whatever that was horrible. Okay. Now I'm gonna have that was just terrible. I don't know what that little. Okay. What was that?
I borrowed that from Maz. Maz does that all the time.
Okay, they can keep that. They can keep that. So they can have that. What I was getting at. You got us with fishing and hooking, and I don't know where you're hooking and crooking. I don't know what happened there with that. Let's get into this. Let's get into Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold. The Jets officially said Sam Darnold is on the market. So, thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think he should be. I mean, look, I think he's been ruined by Adam Gase. Well, I don't know ruined, but he's another guy that
ruined is a harsh word.
He's another guy that could use a new beginning. Like Carson Wentz needed a new start. Sam Darnold might be in that category now. I know he's only been there 3 years, but he was supposed to be the savior of Rome, of one of the most important franchises in the league. Just because if you're in New York,
the Jets are the most important franchise in the league. They've been irrelevant. They've been irrelevant for 60 years.
If you're in New York, you're important. Period.
No, I don't subscribe to that theory.
I know, because you think
the coast means nothing to me. New York is so overrated, it's ridiculous.
I don't disagree, but when it comes to business, every sports team wants their New York teams to do well. Period. Because it's more business if your New York teams do well. That's just a fact.
And why do I care about that if I'm a player?
You don't.
If I'm J.J. Watt, why didn't I go to the Jets or the Giants if I'm J.J. Watt?
You don't. You're correct.
If I'm J.J. Watt, I chose $16 million a year. I chose great weather. I chose an up-and-coming team. And I also chose a team with huge upside. And there is no downside in Arizona. None
whatsoever.
If they go 8-8 and J.J. Watt gets 4 sacks, they go, well, it's Arizona. J.J. Watt tried. They're really not that. They're not rabid down there. He did the best. He did the best he could. Okay.
In New York, right? There'd be people pounding on your door.
Well, you can say they'd be pounding on the door. Both teams are bottom 5 teams. So, I mean, we can talk about that.
And in fact,
there's no expectations in Arizona. And I would argue the New York media has expectations, but much like Foxborough and New England is going to find out, expectations change with the quarterback.
Correct. And with
your team.
Yep, my team. Yep, my team.
Is now being replaced with my team as the future. Even with an old Tom Brady, because what's great that Tom Brady did for the Bucs,
he's establishing a culture.
And look, I've heard a lot of speculation. I know people are talking about extending him 2 and 3 years. Look, if this is Tom Brady's last year, there's going to be guys like an Aaron Rodgers, like a Russell Wilson. But Russell Wilson might say in 3 years, I'm 35. He might say, hey, let me come down to Tampa. It's a great culture. It's a fun place. Great weather. I get a good defense. I get a good offense. This and that and the other. You're giggling over here. Let's hear it.
Well, this Russell Wilson thing, it's ironic you brought that up because there's 2 things on Russell Wilson I wanted to say. One, it came out today that the Seahawks are agitated by this.
Yes, that's why I wanted to do a free agency show because we got a lot to get into. Go ahead with that, and then we're going to go back to Sam Darnold.
And also, Russell Wilson's big complaint is that he is getting hit too much, correct?
Yes. That's my point.
Look at this now. Now he's in the same division as J.J. Watt,
right?
Chandler Jones, Aaron Donald, and Nick Bosa.
And who was the other guy? There was you know what it was? The schedule. They showed the schedule. Khalil Mack, Chandler Jones. They've got like 11 of the top 12 pass rushers
coming
in
after
the
Russell
league.
Wilson this year.
In the league. I'm telling you right now, Russell Wilson, if he stays in Seattle, he's going to struggle. He is going to struggle.
Big time.
Because they won 12 games last year, and I hate saying all because of one guy in such a team sport.
It was because of him.
It was as close to being all of a team guy because their defense was dreadful.
And they don't have a great old line. And as we learned in the playoffs, DK Metcalf is a little temperamental.
He's emotional. He's absolutely emotional. Now, you're right. So what I'm saying about Russell Wilson, let him sign with Dallas. Let him sign with whoever for 3 years. And yes, I'm preparing for the future. 3 years from now, I'll take Aaron. 2 years from now, I'll take Aaron Rodgers. 3 years from now, I'll take Aaron Rodgers. I'll take Russell Wilson 2 years from now, 3 years from now. So, because yes, Tom Brady's going to be 44 in a month. He's not going to play. He's not going to play for forever.
So you want Tampa to become where the old quarterbacks go to finish their career?
Yes, I do. I want Tampa to change the landscape. I want Tampa to be. We load up. We continue to do what we do. We load up the O line. We load up the D line. We have young guns that are young and raw at all the positions that need a Rodgers, a Brady, a Russell Wilson, a veteran quarterback at a bargain. So they'll be in the 39 and 40, 41 range. They'll be getting a bargain deal because they'll be on the older side of things. So they won't be the young Patrick Mahomes that getting $40 million. They'll be getting in the bargain deal like Brady is at $25 million, which is a bargain in this stage of the game. So absolutely, I think Tom Brady has definitely changed the culture for Tampa Bay. Definitely for the positive. For the positive.
Of course. He's the greatest winner in the history of sport. Of course he's changed the culture.
And not only that, and the difference with us in New England, people, you could say Tom Brady changed the culture in New England while he was in New England.
Correct.
The culture is not still in New England.
No,
the
it's
culture,
not.
The difference is of the two. Let's compare the two. Bruce Arians. Now, I know he's not going to be here forever, but the next guy they get, Todd Bowles or whoever the next guy.
Players like to play for Bruce Arians.
Players like to play for Bruce Arians. Players don't like to play for Bill. The weather is great in Tampa. The weather is horrendous in Foxborough. Horrendous.
I sent you the video a couple of years ago of them walking to practice in the middle of a blizzard.
That was brutal. I think it's illegal, but we'll save that for another day. I'm gonna have to check with my payroll guys. You know, to get into business, not to get the politics, but to get into business. You know, employers. By the way, Texas and Mississippi, today said that they're removing the mask. You know, they're getting rid of the mask ban. So we'll see how that affects sports, which is going to be interesting as more and more states follow and will follow. At the end of the day, and look. I know the media went buck wild today about that. Look, at the end of the day, they're not saying don't wear a mask. What they're saying is they're relieving. It's optional. That's what people missed with that. It's optional. They're not saying roll around on the ground and start taking shot glasses with people in the same shot. That's not what they're saying. And
private businesses will still have the right to enforce a mask policy.
Exactly. So I brought that up for that specific reason. But let's get back to the free agents. I want to get to the top 10 free agents. Sam Darnold, if you're New England Patriots, if you don't you missed on Carson Wentz, you didn't take a shot at him. You're not taking a shot at Deshaun Watson. You're not taking a shot at Russell Wilson. If you do not take a shot at Sam Darnold, who for all realistic purposes is on a bargain deal as far as draft collateral goes, just fold it up in New England. Let's hear it.
I agree with you, but there's no way the Jets are going to trade him to the Patriots.
You keep saying that.
Why? Look, I don't agree with this philosophy.
The Jets are going to draft. The Jets are talking today about drafting Zach Wilson.
Yes, they're going to
draft. Which I thought was they're like, oh, we're intrigued by Zach Wilson. Great. Yeah, just like 3 years ago, you were intrigued by Sam Darnold.
And you were intrigued by Geno Smith.
Right.
And Mark Sanchez.
Right.
And on and on and on.
And on and on and on. And Ryan Fitzpatrick and all the
and
super
Brett
best
Favre and Chad Pennington.
Right.
I agree. Look, I don't agree with what I'm about to say because I believe that you do what's best for you. But there are most teams, they don't trade their players to their direct competitors. And I don't see any way the Jets are going to trade Sam Darnold within the division. I think one of the best moves Bill Belichick ever made, and it's also one of the most disrespectful moves I've ever seen, was when he traded Drew Bledsoe on a 10-year contract.
Okay.
In his division.
First of all, that was the besides drafting Tom Brady, that was the second best move he ever made.
What I said, not the best,
right?
One of
the best was drafting Tom Brady, but definitely his best actual move that was the smartest move he did. Yes, he was the direct guy to pull trigger. So yeah, that's why not only did he trade it in division, he got 2 first-round draft picks for him back. Correct. So this is the other thing that we don't talk about with Tom Brady. Not only is he Tom Brady the greatest, not only does he check every box imaginable, not only is he a team guy, the team-friendly guy, he also gave you 2 first-round draft picks.
For Drew Bledsoe.
And gave you basically 4 or 5 years on an extremely team-friendly deal. Then he signed multiple contracts on a team-friendly deal. Yeah, they traded Drew Bledsoe in the division. So, yeah, I don't subscribe to this. If I'm confident in my team, I have no problem. Now, will I punish my own division? So if I am the Jets, so if I'm willing to take a 3rd-round draft pick for Sam Darnold to any team in the league, I will punish the Patriots and say, you need to give me a early second.
Correct.
So I have no
problem.
I'm
going to beat you. And then I'm going to
I have no problem if you punish your division harsher and you say, okay, we got a 3rd from Jacksonville to pick a team, and then we got a 3rd from the Patriots, and maybe it's 4 or 5 spots different. I'll give it to the Jacksonville. I'll give it to Arizona. I'll give it to whoever.
Correct. Look, you're going to have to forgive me for a second because I'm going to get very angry. To Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, what are you doing?
They don't know what they're doing. That's what they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have a plan, Cam.
No, they don't. And this is why I can just feel my blood pressure boiling right now. The Miami Dolphins are being linked to Deshaun Watson. The New York Jets are being linked to Russell Wilson. Those are 2 of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. And the Bills already have one in Josh Allen, who nearly won MVP last year. Meanwhile, here, we're talking about Gardner Minshew, Ryan Patrick, Marcus Mariota. What is this?
Yes, that's what I was saying, Cam. And I don't want you to go too buck wild. Go ahead.
What's more important to you, getting a good bargain or winning football games? I think getting a good bargain is more important to them. Why is Cam Newton even a consideration? We all saw what he did last year. Cam Newton was once a great player. He's not anymore. He can't throw anymore.
That was the worst passing season since they started throwing the ball forward.
You said it many times.
Since they started passing.
Otto Graham and Sammy Baugh were looking down from heaven like, what is this?
Otto Graham and Sammy Baugh took off their leather glasses with their leather helmets and were trading it in heaven, saying, is this 2020? What are they? Is he throwing the ball backwards? What are they doing? He threw 8 touchdowns. 8.
But here's
Tom Brady. I want to say this before I forget. Tom Brady's had a 4-game stretch. The first half of one game and then the first half of the other game where he threw 6 touchdowns in 4 quarters. Cam Newton threw 8 in 15 games.
Year.
Go ahead.
But this is what gets me more than anything. We keep saying that Tom Brady took pay cuts, and he did. They didn't invest around him. They were always cheap. The Patriots, since 2016, the last 4 or 5 seasons, have spent the least amount of money in the league. 32nd of 32.
So, wait, say that again, because I did not know that. You say that since 2016?
2016.
Okay. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're about to come up on 21. So for the last 5 years, we'll say 5 years, they've spent the least on free agents.
They've spent the least amount of hard cash, actual dollars out the door. This is not cap space. This is not cap money. The actual amount of hard money going out the door, the New England Patriots rank 32nd of 32. So they didn't invest around him.
Right.
But yet, Bill Belichick is the highest paid. If we're going by Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk,
which I don't. But go ahead for the purposes of the discussion. I'll go ahead.
He said that Bill Belichick is making $25 million a year.
Maybe he is, but
which is outrageous.
I'll say Belichick might make 19 or 20
because he's getting a coaching and a GM salary.
Okay, so let's say for the sake of argument, let's do this. Let's say, for the sake of argument, he gets a coach and GM salary. You're right. So let's say a top GM makes $5 million, and a top coach of his stature makes 16 or 17 million. So it is possible that he combines at 21, 22, 20. I'm not 25. No, but I will concede that 21 or 22 is very possible. A guy of his stature, I would say that's not outside the realm of possibility.
It is, and look, I'm sure it's up there because Matt Rule just got $10 million from the Panthers. So that
right.
Belichick's
all right, let's do this because we got a couple minutes to go here. Let's move on to top free agents. So
I apologize for getting so worked up.
The top 5 free agents, and then we can kind of give a high notes version. Dak Prescott with Dallas.
He's not going anywhere. Leonard
Williams, Chris Godwin, Brandon Sheriff, offensive guard for Washington, and then number 5, Trent Williams. Trent Williams is on the is available.
Those top 4 guys might get franchised.
And then Shaq Barrett is 6. Let me just round out the top 10. Shaq Barrett, Allen Robinson, Justin Simmons, safety, Taylor Martin, offensive tackle, and Kenny Golladay.
Well, those top 4 guys are all franchise tagged. Dak's definitely going to get tagged. And there's been some rumors in the last couple of days that the Bucs are looking at tagging Godwin.
I hope they tag Godwin because tagging Godwin, you get another year at a bargain deal and you don't have to pay him that long-term money.
And the deadline for the tag is next week before free agency starts the week after.
Do we have a date? Do we have a specific date? Is it March 9th?
I believe so, yeah. March 9th. Yep. March 9th.
So tomorrow's going to be March 4th. So we're talking about 5 days from
next
now.
Tuesday is the deadline, yes.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, that's the deadline to tag players. No one's been tagged yet.
Okay, so let's do this. Is New England going to make a run at Leonard Williams, top defensive end?
No. I think there's one
top wide receiver, Chris Godwin. Top offensive tackles, Trent Williams or Sheriff. Top linebacker, Shaq Barrett.
Nope.
Allen Robinson, number 2 receiver.
There's one top tier free agent they're going to go after.
Who is that?
I told you, Hunter Henry. That's it.
He's the only one. You say that, and it's good to be optimistic. I think it's great as a fan to be optimistic. He also said last week he wants to go to a team with a great quarterback.
I know. I'm not saying he's going to come here. I'm saying they're going to make an effort. He's the one guy they're going to make an effort on. I'm not saying
I believe that they could offer him 15, 16 million, which obviously would be number 1 top of the market. He still might decline it.
He might. He very well. You could be right. I'm just telling you.
For a team like Seattle, for a team like Arizona. What if he goes to Arizona?
His own team. He's got Justin Herbert there.
That's true. His own team does have. That's true. His own team. He does have a great quarterback. But what about Arizona? The one thing about J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt got paid $16 million. J.J. Watt was also the first ping pong ball to drop. Other of these guys that we mentioned, a Chris Godwin, an Allen Robinson, a Shaq Barrett, they could also join him in Arizona.
They could. They very well could. You're right.
And I'll say this. And I love all those guys in the top 10, except for Allen Robinson. Never been a fan of Allen Robinson, regardless of where he ranks. He's too slow. He's too slow to be a number 1 receiver. He's too slow to be an elite number 1. He's too slow.
Right. Ideally, he's your number 2. Yeah.
He's your number 2. If he's your number 2,
he's a lot like T.Y. Hilton,
except the exact opposite. Well, Allen Robinson is big, 6'3", stocky, and a good hands, and shifty, but not a great athlete, not fast. T.Y. is short, diminutive, but quick, doesn't have the best hands.
What I meant is a guy
they're similar, but they're the exact opposite. So I don't know that that's the greatest comparison.
What I meant by that was a guy who they put up similar numbers, but ideally they're a number 2 receiver.
To me, Allen Robinson is a poor man's Mike Evans, a smaller poor man's Mike Evans. So he's tall and big, 6'2", 6'3", a little bit slower, good possession, good touchdown, red zone guy, but not a – Allen Robinson's not really a 10, 11, 12 catch a game guy. That's not really his strength.
That's true. But all those top free agents, you asked me will the Patriots go after them? No.
None of them.
No.
So what are we doing? We're bringing back Cam Newton. We're not bringing any top 10, top 12 guys.
Don't even get me going. I am so.
Don't get going with Cam Newton. We'll cover that in another show.
I am so infuriated with the Patriots right now. They look like complete idiots right now because of what Brady. It's bad enough they fell on their face in the regular. It was a bad look that Brady went. But if the Patriots had their next quarterback and they had won 9 or 10 games, it would still be a loss to Brady, obviously, because Brady won the Super Bowl. But at least you're like, we feel like we're heading in the right direction. We have our next guy. We're on the come. Brady wanted to leave. It was time to move on. Then that would feel different. But that didn't happen. You embarrassed yourself. And above all else, not only did you embarrass yourself, you haven't been humbled at all by what Brady
looks like we got Lucene Anderson. Lucene, how you doing, Lou? So we got some good comments coming on. The Jets says here the Jets are going to take Panay Sewell. What do you make of the reports today that they're saying that Zach Wilson may go to the Jets, Lou? So let's see if we can get some comment from Lou. We got some great comments. Let's see if he responds to that. We'll give him a little bit of time there. So Cam, while we're waiting on Lou's response there, we appreciate the live calls and live. Subscribe to the channel, Lou. We appreciate it.
Yes, please.
Now, the top 10 guys. Look, I understand
they're not going after any of them.
Mike, what are the Patriots doing then? If you don't land,
they care more about
top
the bargain.
10. Okay, well, you keep saying the bargain. You know what? There's a lot of people that bargain shop at yard sales, and they don't have furniture that works. You know what you're going to get? You're going to get broken furniture and fishing poles for $5 at a yard sale.
But you know why Cam Newton is a consideration? Because he took their crappy contract and he kissed Bill Belichick's ass.
And how many games do you win with that?
7.
6, 7?
Which was an overachievement, if you ask me.
Right.
They weren't that good.
Okay. Well, you know what? You're going to get a couple guys back, but you're going to lose a couple guys.
Yes.
You're going to lose Thuney. That's a negative. You're going to lose Stephon Gilmore. That's a negative. Let's see what happens with the McCourty brothers. You're getting Dante Hightower. Dante Hightower's 31. Dante Hightower was great. Doesn't seem to be that dialed in to me.
It's so frustrating. I thought for sure they have a lot of cap space. That Brady made them look like complete a-holes.
Right.
I thought for sure, you know what? This is going to humble them. They're going to go out and be aggressive. And they're not. They're not.
Yeah. So like and subscribe to the channel. We got a couple minutes to go, Cam. It's a great show. We've got people coming in, trending, giving us their free agent take. So let's just let's pick some guys here. Curtis Samuel, what about him? You like him?
I think they might actually be in on someone like him. Second-tier free agent. That wouldn't surprise me.
Okay, so second-tier free agents, that's where we're at?
That's not where I'm at. That's where Bill Belichick's at. And his vote counts more than mine.
JuJu Smith from Tennessee, tight end.
I could see him too. In fact, I think he's more realistic than Hunter Henry.
I mean, if you get JuJu Smith and you get Curtis Samuel.
Like Kellen Winslow Sr. compared to the freaking tight ends we have.
Yeah, let's not bring up Kellen Winslow in a day like today where he was sentenced to 14 years.
I said senior.
Let's not bring it up. Let's not go. Senior, junior, nobody cares about Kellen Winslow. I don't know why you can't just talk about another time. I don't know why you felt the need to bring up Kellen Winslow. Nobody was ever a senior, junior. Here we go. Zach Wilson to the Jets, stupid because you protect a quarterback who is all right. I don't know what he's saying about New England here. What is he saying about New England?
I can't read it. Only you can because you're
okay. Okay. So let's start with this. Okay. So let me see. Okay. Here, let's do this here. Here we go. Let me know when you can see it. Oh, here we go. Oh, here's your boy Lou here. Here are the comments. Got a lot of comments from Lou. Can you see those or no?
Yeah, I can see it. He's got Trevor Lawrence first, as we all know. Panay Sewell going to the Jets at 2.
Right.
Zach Wilson to the Jets is stupid because you protect a QB who is all right.
Now, I don't even know if I want to read this last comment because I think he's trying to say something else, but should I show it? I'll show it.
New England gets Mac in his mock gets.
Oh, mock. I didn't know where he was going with that. When I saw the OCK, I didn't know what he was trying to say there, but it meant mock. Okay.
Smith? I don't know. Does he mean Mac Jones? I'm not quite sure Mac, is that a player I haven't thought of?
He's having some Jack Daniels. Look, we appreciate you spending your evening with us when you're having some Jack.
Yes,
some Jack or some cognac or whatever you get in there, having some wine, some sushi. I love it. But great comments, Lou. We appreciate that. All right, let's get this off the screen here. This is good though. So those are the comments. It's fun we were able to do that there. I always assume that everybody can see what I see, but now I realize I gotta show the comments when people are tweeting them in live. But we definitely appreciate that. That was kind of a cool little feature we got there. So we're definitely I'm happy for you, Lou. I hope your Jets pick the right guy. And I agree with you. I agree with you 110%. I think the Jets should draft Panay Sewell, offensive tackle.
Can you imagine if you're a defensive line going against the Jets and you have to go against Panay Sewell and Mekhi Becton?
Look, this Jets team, if they do things correctly, he meant Devontae Smith, I think is what he meant. I think he meant Mac Jones and Devontae Smith. He was combining them. Panay Sewell and Mekhi Becton on the edges, these two 360-pound behemoths on the edge, you could pancake the hell out of teams. I'm saying if it's me,
keep Sam Darnold on
keeping
his feet.
Sam Darnold for another year. I'm drafting a running back in the second or third round. That's a 220-pound bell cow, 5'11", 220 pounds. Oh, he's a Titans fan.
Signing some receivers.
Sign a guy like a Derrick Henry. Signing those guys, okay? And then just keep going through the process, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. So like and subscribe to the channel. So final thoughts, Cam, before we wrap this up. So here we go. Let's show the last couple comments for everybody here.
Miami gets Devontae Smith. He's a Titans fan.
You good with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Final thoughts, Cam, before we run this.
I have no faith in my team. I have zero faith in my team.
If it makes you feel any better, I have complete faith in my team, the Buccaneers.
Well, that's what Tom Brady does. I had faith in my team for 20 years, and I don't anymore. And it's just I thought they'd be humbled, and they haven't been. We're talking about the likes of Gardner Minshew, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Marcus Mariota. The one guy that they might extend themselves for is Jimmy G because he's their guy. But other than that,
again, the guys you're naming, Gardner Minshew and Alex Smith, I'm hearing, beat up, and Cam Newton, and who was the other guy you named? Mariota. I mean, these are bottom feeder guys.
That's what Belichick loves. They'll take his crappy contract and they'll kiss his ass. That's what matters to him. Can you win games? Nah, I don't know. But if you take that crappy contract,
you know why you can't win games? Because you're no longer going to get Stephon Gilmore to come back another year or two at a bargain. You're no longer going to get Dante Hightower to re-sign at a bargain.
Darrelle Revis on a bargain.
In fact, I'm going to go over this list one more time before we go here. You know what you're going to have to do?
You're going to overpay.
You can get a Leonard Williams. Okay, I'm not saying that you cannot convince.
You get to make him the highest paid
Leonard. Well, I'm not saying you can't get Leonard Williams the second overall draft. Let's say Dak resigns with Dallas, then that would make Leonard Williams the de facto number one available free agent.
He already is. Dak's going to get franchised.
Okay, so let's say let's assume that Leonard Williams is the best free agent according to this list. I might choose some other guys, but let's say that he is. You can get Leonard Williams, but you're going to have to get him at a $24-25 million a year clip.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
That's what we're talking about.
Not going to happen.
Okay, Chris Godwin. He's number 3 on this list. Okay, you can get Chris Godwin. Okay, you can get him. He said, you're cold. Lou says you're cold with Marcus Mariota being a bottom feeder. Look, that's no disrespect to your guy, Marcus Mariota. It's just a fact. Ryan Tannehill beat him out, and he beat him out with ease. Okay, I like Ryan Tannehill, your guy. But Marcus Mariota is a guy that I wanted my Buccaneers to get 5 years ago. I wanted the Bucs to get him over Jameis Winston. As it turns out, they're both bottom feeders. Both Marcus Mariota and Jameis, they're both backups. They both can be 31, 32, 29 if you're lucky starters. They can start on a 5-win team.
Speaking of Jameis Winston, before we go, I do want to ask you one thing, Preston.
Okay, before we get to Jameis, let's save this for last year. Trent Williams, okay? Oh, by the way, Shaq Barrett. You can get a Shaq Barrett for $21 million.
They're not going to sign any of these, yes.
Allen Robinson, you're going to have to pay $21 million.
Happening.
Last thing before we get to Jameis, and we wrap it up here, okay? Nathan Peterman is better. What's your opinion on Derrick Henry? I love Derrick Henry, Lou. Derrick Henry is a beast.
He's a bad man.
I love Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry. Phenomenal.
He's one of the few running backs I would break the bank for. Because he's big, so he'll last.
He will last. And even Derrick Henry only got $10 million a year. Just keep that in mind. All these guys that we named, Derrick Henry's better than all of them. Yes. Derrick Henry's phenomenal. I love Derrick Henry. Okay? I wanted the Bucs to draft Derrick Henry. You know who else I wanted the Bucs to draft last year? Who's your guy? Najee Harris?
Yeah, Alabama, yep.
That's who I wanted the Bucs to take. Now, your question about – so before we get to the last question with Jameis, what I wanted to get to is the Patriots can get some of these guys.
They have to pay them.
But if you've got $55 million in cap room, as the Patriots do, but you got to swallow $25 million of that in one guy, that's not building a dominated roster. That's what I'm talking about.
No, you're right. It's not. I have no. I can go on all night if you want me to, but we're
going to move forward because you're going to go on for.
Last question for you, and it's not about Jameis in particular. It's about his.
Are you able to type? See if you can type that in here, in Jameis. Can you type in here or no? You can't even see the board.
No.
Can you type in anything or no?
No, that's on YouTube. No,
that's just me. Okay. So you can't even type anything in. I was hoping you could type it in, but go ahead.
So above all else, I mean, this is what I want to ask. It's not about Jameis. It's about his team, the Saints. If you're a Saints fan.
I figured I'd just put me on the screen. Go ahead. No, we're doing this for fun. I'm messing with the cameras here. I'm changing around here we go. I like this camera view the best. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Cam. Just ask your question. We're having fun.
It is
We're
fun.
trying new things here. Go ahead.
If you're a Saints fan, do you even want Drew Brees back?
No, I absolutely do not want Drew Brees back. Look, I like Drew Brees. He's a good guy, family man, all the checks, all the boxes. I like Drew Brees a lot. No disrespect to Drew Brees. He's had a fantastic career, first ballot Hall of Famer with ease. He's about the team. He's about we. He's not about me. At the end of the day, the last 2 or 3 years, he's been beat up. He runs out of steam. He's small. At the end of the day, Tom Brady's 6'4", 225 pounds. He's a big, strapping guy. I understand he's not Josh Allen or Herbert or some of these other sides, physique-wise, or Big Ben or Cam Newton, physique-wise. But Tom Brady's 6'4", 225 pounds.
He's a big guy.
Drew Brees is 5'11", 200 pounds on a good day.
And above all else, here's the thing. In these last 2 years, the Saints have been better without him.
You're right. I believe the thing is, it's like 8-1. 8-1 with anybody. 8-1
with Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill.
Name the guy. Taysom Hill, Teddy Bridgewater, and Jameis Winston. They're all 8-1 with those guys as starter. Because people don't realize Jameis Winston did play one game last year. Saints should give Jameis Winston the ball because he's got LASIK now. Oh my God. I don't know what is it. I don't know why people in Tampa have been saying that now that Jameis has LASIK, he's just going to make the Saints great again. So, Cam, was that your question? Did he steal your question?
My question was, if you were a Saints fan, would you even want Drew Brees back at this point?
No, I wouldn't. I would be, on to Cincinnati. I would see at the end of the day, I think Taysom Hill, I don't think Lou's going to like this, but I think Taysom Hill is a much better fit for their offense and for their scheme than Jameis. I actually think that Jameis should go to the Patriots. I thought the Patriots should have taken a swing at Jameis. I understand Jameis is a high velocity, 5,000 yard, high turnover. He's not a Bill Belichick style of guy because he's a high octane guy. And Bill Belichick likes highly cerebral dip and dunk kind of a guys. But to me, Jameis Winston is worth the risk. Because to me, if I'm Bill Belichick, this is how I'm spinning things if I'm Bill Belichick. You ready?
Let's hear it.
I'm bringing in Jameis. I'm bringing in Chris Godwin. I'm bringing in Hunter Henry. I'm going all out with the guys. I'm getting a lot of messages here. I think somebody's banging at the door here. But anyway, are you hearing me there?
Yeah, I hear you good. Yeah.
Okay. Last thing I'll say here, we're getting all kinds of crazy feedback, tweets and galore and videos and everything going here.
That's
but
good.
Last thing I'll say here, I think they're going crazy here in the studio outside, but I think they're like, Preston, you gone on for 3 hours now. But here we go. Last comment with Jameis Winston. If I'm Bill Belichick gives you a chance to save your legacy. And what I mean by that, if I'm Bill Belichick, if I bring in Jameis and I can throw 4,200 yards with Jameis, and I can get Jameis 27, 28 touchdowns and 13, 14 interceptions in that realm, that's a huge win. And win 9 or 10 games, that's a huge win for me if I'm the Patriots and Bill Belichick.
Absolutely.
So like and subscribe to the channel. Lou, great feedback. You added a huge benefit to the show. Thanks again. Subscribe to the channel. See you guys.